Very excited to be filming this video. We're going to be looking at Treebeard, the Mighty Ent. We're going to have a proper look at this guy straight after this. Hey folks, how we doing? Like I said in the intro, today we're going to be looking at Treebeard, the Mighty Ent. I'm going to be getting him out of the box, having a look. I'm going to build him also so we can see what he looks like built, and also the Merry and Pippin that come inside. But before I do that, we'll get on the table and have a look at it. If this is your first time in a video, I say this all the time, but please do consider clicking the subscribe button. There's loads of videos. If you're into anything hobby, this is the place for you. It's not just Middle-earth. We do 40k, we do Star Wars Legion. Most stuff we're going to be touching on, especially Cursed City, so keep an eye out for that in the coming weeks. So here we are, guys. This is Treebeard, the Mighty Ent, and as we can see over here, we've got some footage from the movie, some screens from the movie, and we also get Merry and Pippin, two new Merry and Pippin models from Stones, which is fantastic. On the reverse, you can see we have painting, well, some of the paints that you're going to need to paint this up. I will be using the Warhammer TV painting guide to paint mine. But yeah, let's crack this box open and have a look at the sprues. There's a lot in this box, as we can see. Get all the bases out and what have you. And then first we have the instruction manual, which, looking at it straight off the bat, is going to be very important. There's a lot of pieces on this sprue, and you're going to need to follow this with some fine detail to make sure that you don't mess anything up. I will say putting this Treebeard model together does take a little bit of skill, more so than normal, more so than putting a normal sprue together. There's a couple of pieces that are quite fiddly. Looking at the sprue, everything looks fantastic. The detail on the bark is great. It's a little bit daunting to look at. Look at the texture there, it's amazing. A little bit daunting to look at because there's so much on there. But if you follow the instruction manual, I can't sort of highlight this enough. Follow the instruction manual to the letter and in the order that it tells you to build, you'll be fine. See there, we've got Treebeard's beard. But yeah, this looks amazing. I'm really looking forward to putting this together. A little head there from the Hobbit, very small. Be very careful when you're snipping your pieces off, that you're in a place where if something falls on the floor, you're not going to lose it. I highly suggest cutting your sprues out over a container or something like that. And we've got the monster base and two infantry bases for the hobbits, and that's it. Right, let's get this built. So as you can see, I've got all my equipment that I need, my snippers and my sprue cleaner, glue, etc. I'll be applying my glue using a toothpick, the little thing, silicone base that you see in the bottom left hand corner. I'll be holding my super glue on and using super glue. I highly recommend either using super glue or plastic glue. Both will be suffice. I just prefer to work with super glue and a toothpick. I find that it's just much more accurate to put the glue onto the sprue. So I'm going to start building this. I'm going to speed up the process. You don't want to see a video of me cutting sprues out and following instructions, but you will see the whole method of putting Treebeard together from start to finish. So yeah, I'll speed the camera up now and yeah, well, let's get them together. Let's start snipping the pieces off. There's a few things that I would like to point out to you guys. First off is dry fit everything. By dry fit, as you can see here, what I mean is putting the pieces together without any glue on. Make sure they line up, etc. Before you glue them. By doing this, it just makes your life a lot easier. By sticking something together a certain way, going to put the next piece on, then you realise that you've stuck it in slightly the wrong position, or it's upside down, or something like that. With it being a tree, a lot of the pieces are very similar, and it's quite easily done. Another thing that I would say is when you're putting these kits together, especially on Treebeard, there are a lot of branches that look very, very similar. What you don't want to be doing is, on stage 6F of the instructions, it tells you to use pieces 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. If all those pieces are branches, don't cut them all out and put them on your desk, because you'll forget which one is which number, if that makes sense. Cut one out at a time and glue it to the model, and cut your next one off. The only time I would say, cut more than one off, like you can see me doing here, is if the pieces are all very, very different and it's obvious what goes where. So yeah, I'm just using the knife to clean off any extra pieces of sprue that are left on from where I've snipped it off, applying the glue accurately using my toothpick, and then as I'm sticking them together, you can see here that I do, try the branches in different positions, make sure that I get it in the right place. I think with this kit especially, it kind of lends itself to, if you stick a branch on the wrong way around, it's not the end of the world. But I mean, ideally, it's good practice to get yourself putting things on the right way. So you can see here, this is the first of Treebeard's legs, and we're putting it together. One thing I will say, and this isn't just for this kit, this is some GW kits in general. The kits are amazing. The way they go together are fantastic. It kind of boggles your mind sometimes, and you think, how someone worked that out, that if you cut this piece of plastic in this shape, it will perfectly fit onto this other piece in a really odd way. And then by the time you put 3 or 4 pieces together, it's created something. But the instructions obviously is on a 2D page, and there's only so much information they can give you. So normally it's just 2 arrows saying stick piece A onto piece B. But there are certain ways that they go on. So like I say, just do dry fit everything before applying the glue. So you can see here that we're getting on with the second leg of Treebeard, and a base bit with the foot and the roots are done. We're just attaching some branches here. Again, just being very careful that I'm getting things on the right way. That's the top half of the leg. Again, just cleaning it off. This one I found a little bit difficult to work out how exactly it sits together, but when you realise that it goes inside, when one piece goes inside the other piece in the middle, it just kind of clicks and goes together. So we're putting the whole thing together. There's quite a bend at the knee. I did use the box art when I was getting confused and the instructions really weren't helping me. I reverted to looking at the box art, which I highly recommend you do. There's nothing wrong with that. Here I cut out the hand holding the rock and build it. Now I chose to build, in the end, which you'll see, Treebeard without the rock. So this is a wasted bit of time, really. Work out whether you want him to be holding a rock or stone or not. Luckily, the hand which doesn't hold the stone is one piece. You can see it there on the sprue. And there's no build for that hand. Again, this was... Some of the pieces were just really difficult to get your head around how they fit together. Persevere with it. Don't lose your patience. If you find yourself getting frustrated, just put everything down, get up, go and have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and come back to it. They do go together. They go together in a certain way, and sometimes it could be the last way that you try. But it's a great kit. I can't reiterate that enough. It is a great kit. Here I'm dry fitting the hand, and then I realise that actually I don't want that. I want the non stone wielding hand. So I glue that on, and it just takes a little bit of, like I say, just dry fitting to work out exactly how the hand fits on. Again, you'll be trying to put pieces on, and you're thinking to yourself, this does not go here, I'm missing something. Then all of a sudden, it just clips on, and away you go. Second hand here now, with the fingers that are slightly clenched, which all come sort of individual. Again, when I looked at the kit, I thought, it's pretty daunting to look at. You look at the sprue and you think, oh my god, there's so many little twigs and trees, and you know what? You just start on page 1 and start working your way through, and before you know it, you're at the end. You get the 2 legs done, you get the body done, and then you're onto the fun bit, which is putting his head together. And yeah, it just clicks. Again, this bit was quite difficult to get my head around. This piece here is somewhere that I would suggest taking your time with. It goes together quite oddly, but then, like I said before, all of a sudden it just works and just clips in. Obviously there's no sound because I'm speeding up the video, but I just had some of my favourite music on that I like just to relax to in the background, and just plodded through it. And before you know it, you're there. I mean, we're on the body now already. We're putting the body together. There's quite a few sort of bits poking out of him on his body, a few branches and things like that. This is what I mean about the branches. A lot of them will look very, very similar. So just be careful with the numbers and make sure that you're keeping track of what numbers and what's what. Some of the pieces also on this kit are very, very small, and just trying to get them in the right position can prove quite difficult. So you can see me here again, dry fitting and trying to work out exactly which little crevice this branch fits on. And yeah, you just start trying different things, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, of course it goes there. We're coming towards the end now. We can see that we've got Treebeard's beard, which is his one of his most recognisable features. That's quite easy to go together. And then here, here at this point I go a little bit off instructions. There's me telling you guys to make sure you stick to the instructions. I go a little bit off, but just on this piece, and I do recommend doing a similar thing. I could not for the life of me work out how this piece goes on the top. It just didn't seem to go and fit in any way. So what I decided to do was put the next piece, dry fit it all together. So I put his moustache on, the piece at the back of the head and the piece at the front of the head, so I could sort of dry fit it all, get it all together and work out how it goes. In hindsight, what I would say is, if you look at the box art, you can see he's got like some kind of mushrooms just on his forehead, and there are kind of little indentations on the beard segment, on the branch that sticks out the top for those mushrooms, which I just didn't notice at the beginning. So yeah, that's a little tip there for you. Again here, once it just clicked in, and it's hard to work out how you could never see it in the first place. But we got there, we got the head on, and straight away he's looking like Treebeard. Dry fitting it onto the body, make sure it fits properly, all the legs, etc., and we can start putting him together. So we're gluing the legs on here. There are little crevices in the ball joints for the legs to make sure that you're putting them in the right position so that his feet sit flat on the base. I've attached the legs to the body, I've attached the legs now to the base. I'll be putting the head on, and then it's the arms. On we go with the arms. Again, same as the legs, they go on a certain way. You can't really put them on the wrong place, but there is room for you know, cutting off the little nodules and kind of getting the position that you want it to have. Here I was just dry fitting two of the hobbits on there, and I couldn't get Pippin to fit on. And again, it's one of those situations where I was trying it, and it's just like, oh, that's where he goes. Great. So yeah. So all in all, really enjoyed the build. Thought it was a great kit to put together. A little bit testing, not gonna lie, it was a little bit testing, but well worth the effort. And I'm really, really pleased with the outcome. It looks great. So now Treebeard is built, I will be getting him ready and primed to do a painting tutorial on the channel also, so do keep your eyes peeled for that. Don't forget, if you don't want to miss it, if you click the bell button and you are subscribed, you will be notified every time I release a video on the channel, so please do consider doing that. So straight off the bat, obviously Treebeard is an Ent. He has access to all the brutal power attacks. He's classed as a monster. He's Fight 8, 4+ shoot value, Strength 8, Defense 8, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, Courage 7, and he has Might Will of Fate of 3, 6, 3. So he's got 6 will, which is really, really cool for him to negate magical spells and things like that against him. He calls his Terror, his woodland creature, and he has the Throw Stones special rule. Heroic actions that he has access to are Heroic Strike, Heroic Strength, and Heroic Defense. All things that kind of tie in with the character of Treebeard and an Ent specifically. An option that you do get with Treebeard is to take Merry and Pippin for a cost of 10 points. Now, if you take Merry and Pippin, you use the profiles from their profiles in the Fellowship. For all intents and purposes, though, they are classed, if you use them with Treebeard, as part of the Fangorn list. Also, Merry and Pippin cannot be targeted by shooting attacks. They're classed as passengers on Treebeard, but they cannot be shot at. And Merry and Pippin can also use their Throwstone special rule whilst they are passengers on Treebeard without any penalty. Even if Treebeard has moved, their class is not moving because they're just sat in his branches. Merry and Pippin can also dismount Treebeard and remount Treebeard just by being in base contact with him, which is very cool, very thematic. He's pointed out in Treebeard's profile that he does have the extra brutal power attack Bludgeon. This brutal power attack means that Treebeard can pick up one of the enemies that he is in combat with and use them as a bludgeon. He will use them to hit another enemy that's in the combat. They both will take a strength 8 hit, and Treebeard can keep doing this as long as there's eligible targets and he kills every time he tries it with the strength 8 hit. He can carry on doing it even if the original hit with the bludgeon kills the model that he's using as the bludgeon. It only stops when he doesn't inflict a kill with this brutal power attack. So that's it, guys, a overview and review of the Treebeard profile and the awesome new model from Games Workshop. I, as well as a lot of you other guys out there, are a massive fan of this model. I think it's a huge improvement on the original. I never really had an issue with the original, but when you stand them next to each other, it's obvious which one you're going to go for. So it's top marks from me for Treebeard, the Mighty Ent model from Games Workshop. That's it for this video. I will see you in the next video. Look out for the paint tutorial, which I will be doing this week also. And apologies for the lack of videos in the last week. I have been laid up in bed, unfortunately. I had my first COVID jab at the weekend, and it really knocked the socks out of me. I've been really ill with it, so I've not been doing that much, but the plan is to get a lot more stuff done this weekend, so do look forward to that. Guys, as I say always, keep washing your hands. We're nearly there, and we'll be able to all get together soon in a hall and be massive nerds and roll dice and hang out and have a lot of fun. So take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.